out as I come. Busting in your line, cracking helmets in. I bring the pain, so what you gon' do? Stand there and just get shook out ya. So clean out your locker, I'm out to get ya. Cause I just popped ya. You can't take the pressure. You might as well quit cause you just can't last. Madden 2000, put your face in the crack.
Austin Safarian-Jenkins, the first touchdown of Jameis Winston's career.
And your pride in the dirt, so put on a skirt. If you come on the field and don't wanna get hurt, just bruise and beaten, all black and blue. And it's been like that since Madden 92.
So good afternoon, everyone. It's Thursday. I know I'm usually supposed to put it out Wednesday with the NFL picks and all the other topics of the week. But you're here with Buccaneer Blake Sports, with Buccaneer Blake himself. And, on the days of the picks, I usually pick up somebody that's a fan of another team besides the Bucs. And we talk about their team and what do they think about it and stuff like that. But before we go into that, I checked the article today on the NFL.com website. And this article was put out by Dan Hansis, I believe. And he says teams that will not make the playoffs through week 5. He had one week 1 through week 3 through 5, but with week 5 coming up, he has the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs doomed to not making the playoffs. I kind of agree with him. I think the Chiefs won't make it. No Jamal Charles. Alex Smith is kind of inconsistent. The Ravens, I don't know what the hell's going on over there. I don't know where to begin to start. Is it the coach? Is it the players? Did they give up? I don't know. But as I always do on days like today, I have a guy on the phone today. His name is, we call him Fat Man Scoop, but his name is Isaac Brown. And he's from Philadelphia camp, and I was going to ask him some thoughts and stuff and see what he thinks. So, Isaac, you there?
Yes, I am, Blake Cable. This is Isaac Brown out of Philadelphia. Glad that you invited me to join your show today. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man. Everything all right down there? Cold yet?
Not cold yet, but it's getting a little nippy out this end. Yesterday was 70. Today is going to be about 58. Not bad.
Yeah,
football weather coming up.
We're still wearing shorts out here and tank tops, but
I wish I could join you guys.
You can. You can pack up and leave anytime you want. But before we talk about Philadelphia, what do you think about the report by Dan Hansis, if I'm pronouncing your name right? I like to get it right. About Baltimore and Kansas City Chiefs doomed to not make the playoffs. Do you find that accurate?
Absolutely. I'm looking at Flacco, Super Bowl champion. He's just not in form this year. Typically, the Ravens play excellent D. I think they flap it a little bit, as you want to say, or not bringing it to the table. And it seems like Kansas City, being an Eagles fan and knowing Andy Reid, it seems like he's going back to his old ways. So I think they just destined not to make the playoffs.
Speaking of old ways, you know how Andy loved offensive linemen in Philadelphia. I've been noticing that the number 1 overall pick, what was his name? Jake Fisher? Was it Fisher? That's who it was? That they picked up the offensive tackle? I said he hasn't been playing too well. You think he might pick up another bust like your favorite and beloved Danny Watkins, the fireman?
Absolutely. Andy Reid really believes that, he has an eye for quarterback as well as O-lineman, and it seems like, he got lucky with the little bit of talent that he was able to rise in Philadelphia, but, he does pick a bust or two here and there.
Yeah, Andy Reid was best known, I guess, for later round picks. Normally his first overall picks weren't too good. It was the later rounds where you got the Trent Coles and the Vinny Currys and the guys like that. Fletcher Cox, he hit that on the nose with that one. But so, what do you think's going on in Philadelphia? They're saying that Philadelphia has the worst division in football right now.
Absolutely. I mean, you got the Cowboys there that right now devastated. You know, they actually have to pick up an old Patriot guy at quarterback. We won't mention his name, but you know, they're not doing too good. You look at New York; they were just lucky to pull out a win. They had two games where it's just like they looked like you know, not so good. And then you have the Eagles, who right now, based on I guess Chip Kelly or chippery going on in Philadelphia, the Eagles are just not what they used to be. You know, as far as like a blue collar type of team that, you know, whether they lose or not, you can see the heart and soul right there displayed on the field. You just don't see that. You're not getting that in Philadelphia right now, and that's one of the biggest things that, you know, is being talked about.
Do you think he kind of took the heart away when he got rid of Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, those guys, you know, we can talk about their attitudes or whatever, but their attitude is what gave them the edge, and what, you know, people in Philadelphia consider the edge. You know, Brian Dawkins, all those great players like that. That's what people are used to, and you take away some of the heart and soul of the team. Where's the soul at? Who's the identity of the Eagles right now? Nobody knows, and that's what everybody's trying to figure out.
Chip Kelly thinks himself as a genius. He doesn't matter who is in his system. It kind of looks like he's getting real poor performance by the two spots that he thought he was going to do well at, was quarterback and running back. Do you think that's accurate?
Well, I think you hit it on the head when you look at the state of the Eagles right now. You know, look at the running back. You know, his offense is predicated on the fact that, you know, running up that middle to keep people honest. And well, one thing is you got to have an O-line. You can have the best running back in the world, you know, outside of Barry Sanders. You got to open up a little bit of a hole. You know, I don't care how good DeMarco Murray is. You need a little bit of a seam. And the O-line right there, it's just not getting it done. And then when you look at quarterback, you know, I just have to laugh about it, because you pick up a guy that always has flashes but hasn't produced anything, and you expect just because you're in the chip system that it's going to get done. You know, you still got to have a player at the quarterback position. You know, the most important position out there on the field, and you know, Chip didn't do what he needed to do to solidify that position. You know. It's a reason why the Rams made the type of deal that they made. You know, but you know, Chip knows everything.
He's a genius. So do you believe? So do you believe you guys should have kept it at minimum Nick Foles?
Oh, at the minimum, keep Nick Foles. He's still a young guy that, you know, either Nick Foles or try to go after, you know, now there's talk in Philadelphia that, you know, they can't wait till the season over, but hey, it's about the here and now. You know, they talking about Colin Kaepernick or whatever his name is with the 49ers out there, you know, but we need this season. You know, next year, just like anything else, you're starting ground zero, and who knows, going chip. Who knows, all the chips might fall so far, and he's back in college next year.
I said
Philadelphia's devastated.
It's ironic that you say that, because I got up this morning reading a report that USC has extended their hand to Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly reports back that he hasn't seen no contract. Now,
you know something? I haven't heard that though, Blake. But if you're saying that, that's the word in the Philadelphia, without even me knowing about that report. So that's saying a lot, because that's the word going around town.
So here's the thing that I'm dealing with when I read this, because first off, you can never believe any head coach. They'll never tell you the truth that they're talking to somebody. Now we all know that just from Urban Meyer alone, how he said he wasn't going to Ohio State, and where is he at? In Ohio State. But anyway, he said he's never Nobody's ever extended a contract to him. So that tells me with that statement, most people would say you never contacted him. So you have talked to USC. They just haven't offered you a contract. That's what I got out of that. Or maybe am I paying too much into that?
Hey, maybe.
Yeah.
But he can't do anything until the end of the season, so just like anything else, it might be in the cards depending on how they finish the season.
I'm sorry, but
That's true.
That'll be dope.
The other thing I thought what was messed up in Philadelphia was that he gets rid of all these superstar players and players that they like in Philadelphia. Now, granted, if the system worked, we wouldn't be having this conversation, right? So, the part I thought that was messed up, I don't really care too much for the Eagles, you know that, but the part I thought that was messed up was that you got rid of these players that the people like. Now, before I finish this, teams in big cities like players with attitudes. That's an accurate statement, right? What you were saying earlier, players with fire like Brian Dawkins, and you got to have a little something from your quarterback. He talks a little shit, or he's got some heart to him. And you get rid of guys like that for something that it's not going to work. But what happens, the fans are the ones that ends up getting screwed out of this, because now you have to sit up here and wait. You have to wait for these players, like the next level of players, to come back for you, whether it's in the draft or off season. Meanwhile, you're screwed for the next 3 years or so years, and Chip Kelly has moved on to wherever he's going. And I don't know. I just think it's kind of unfair that he kind of did that to y'all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you look at it now and you look at what's going on, even with the tickets and stuff, they'd probably still be sold out. But when you look at it, if you go into, like, the different, like, Stub Hubs or Stub Grub or whatever those places are, people got reasonable amount of tickets for a football game, especially on a Monday night against New York. It's, like, flooded with people even giving up a ticket to that Monday night football. Give me a break. That just tells you right there that, normally you go in there and you're scraping the barrel, or if you want to go see a game here on like StubHub or all these other places that sell tickets for people, and it's flooded right now.
Speaking of
it's flooded to the point that I was thinking about it myself, but I'm a cheap. That they got tickets as reasonable as $100 and reasonable sections.
No, I feel you on that. Ain't nothing wrong with being cheap. It's how you keep money. Two things. One, what do you think Philadelphia finishes at with the record?
Well, I'm just going to be honest. Unless something produces itself in the next two games they have, and even when last week, I still didn't see too much. There's a little glimmer of hopes, but I thought that the Saints just played poorly. I don't think it was so much the Eagles. I just think that the Saints didn't play up to their ability against the Eagles.
Stephen A. Smith believes that too.
And there's talk around it. Some people think they're going to finish 9-7, still squeak a couple wins out, which some of them they should. But there's a lot of talk that's squirreling at either 9 or 7 or 7 and 9. You take your pick. You flip flop it. I'm hoping 9-7, but it's, to my opinion, when looking at their schedules coming up, they should get the New York game. They should get the Dolphins in November or December, I think they are. But anything might happen. They got to play better.
So, do you think they win the division? Who do you think wins the division?
Right now, it's like whoever wins this division, it doesn't really matter. They're not going nowhere. I think it's going to be, my opinion, it depends on what's happening on Monday night. I'm still looking for probably New York come out of this.
Now, New York is known for having seasons like this, crappy beginning, awesome finishes, and they end up winning the Super Bowls. They've not only done it once, but they've done it twice. And
yes, absolutely. That's what I'm looking at.
And as much crap as we want to talk about Eli Manning, this has always been the argument. Peyton's been the regular season champ, playoff chump. Eli Manning's been the regular season chump, playoff champ. 2 times, I might add.
Well, you know what the whole saying is, just like you almost hit it on the head. You know, like you look at a family like that, and you know, Eli is probably more challenged than his brother, figuring that, hey, I'm on the big dance stage. This is the time to stay more focused and rise up to the occasion. So I would kind of agree with that. You know, give him a stage. You're in the Big Apple, and Eli knows how to take a bite out of it, unlike his brother.
Right. Well, I guess we'll just see it. We'll just see how it all finishes up in the end. I guess as right now everything's all speculation with 5 weeks in. There's a couple teams that started off bad and they're starting to turn around and going on a run. But we're at the second quarter of the season. We'll see where we are. But I guess we'll get a better picture when we come into the third quarter in the season. The remaining 8 games. I got if you had to. Four undefeated teams, correct? Is that Patriots, Bengals, Broncos, and Panthers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If you had to pick one to ride out the rest of the season with, who would you pick? Would you pick Tom Brady? So would you put?
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to pick the Patriots. When you look at those teams, I look at like even some of the schedule, I'm just going to have to pick the Patriots. Unfortunately, I just think, you know, even with all the Spygate cheating and all that other stuff, it's, you know, and I think they just do it to enhance themselves. You know, Belichick, I think, you know, when you play chess, I wouldn't want to play chess against him because I think he's playing it better than anybody. You know, even though he takes a little advantage here and there, he comes prepared every week. And you look at some of the coaches that he's going up against. Who would you put your money on?
It's very, like I'm with you on that. It's very hard for me to agree with anything with the Patriots right now. And you know me for a while, and I used to respect the Patriots, if you remember that at one point, because they used to make players, they used to have players and make it work in their system. They didn't need all-stars. They still don't. And Bill, it's I have to say, when it's true, Bill Belichick is probably the most prepared guy I have ever seen coach this game. It's the stuff he looks at. He looks at every single aspect. Even if it is a cheating aspect, he does it as well. But it's just amazing the stuff that they still pull out with this team. And the turnover with the Patriots team. And it's not like since the previous Super Bowl run, the team is changed almost every year. So it's not like it's the same guys coaching younger guys. It's been like a whole, like, I don't know, maybe a quarter different, like maybe a quarter or, yeah, maybe I would say about a quarter. A quarter of the team is changed out, and a lot of them are starters, especially at the corner position and receiver position. If you remember last year, they had, I think, 2 rookie receivers. They were talking about Tom Brady being done, and they couldn't catch passes. Now you got a whole nother receiving core in there now. I mean, it's just everything changes so much, but the results don't change. You're still producing wins.
Well, I think when you look at it and you look at the Patriots, it's just a culture. It's like almost like the morale. Like people want to step up to the plate just because they have that winning attitude, and it just radiates throughout the organization. And they have the mentality. They don't care what everybody else thinks. You're a Patriot. It's expected. Winning is an expectation, not just what people feel or want. They expect it, and I think that's the big difference. When you jump in and you put on a Patriot uniform, you expect it. That's what they expect, and that's what everybody expects to rise up to the occasion. And when you got that going through the whole organization, whether or not the people above are doing stuff shady or not, the players on the field that's playing the game, they're playing because they have the uniform on as expected. And I think that's the difference with why the Patriots are always the cream is always rising to the top, as they say.
All right. Well, that was good talk. Well, let's go into the picks now, Mr. Brown. We got Atlanta and New Orleans tonight. New Orleans is at home. Who you got?
You said you have Atlanta and New Orleans?
New Orleans
Well,
is
after that dismal performance last week, I'm going to have to go with the Falcons. And am I allowed to give a pick? A score pick?
no score needed, just teams.
Okay, I'll just pick and once again, I'd like to say I appreciate you inviting me on. I'll go with the Falcons.
All right. Cincinnati and Buffalo. Buffalo's at home.
Once again, Cincinnati's kind of hot right now. I'm going to have to pick them.
So you
Just
got
because they're hot, and I think they're going to get it done tonight. I think they're trying to keep pace out there.
you got on Sunday. You got Denver and Cleveland. Cleveland's at home. Who you got?
Shoot, that's kind of a coin cost right now. I'm just going to have to give an edge, and only the edge I'm giving is because Peyton Manning's still my man, so I'm gonna go with Denver.
All right. I said Chicago and Detroit. Detroit's at home.
Believe it or not, I'm going to have to go with Chicago. I kind of like their wide receiver core. And their defenses, I think, is okay. Enough to get it done against that team.
Here's another tough one. Jacksonville and Houston. Jacksonville's at home.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. I'm going to have to go with I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
I agree.
Just going to go with Jacksonville. I think right now, that little young nucleus they have, I think it's just going to be enough the way, I don't think J.J. Watt, as good as he is, hey, one man can't win a football game. That's just my opinion.
Kansas City and Minnesota. Minnesota's at home.
Oh, I'm going to have to ride out with my Minnesota. I think Adrian Peterson is going to lay the lumber down.
All right. You got Washington and the New York Jets. Jets are at home.
Oh, I'm going to have to go with the Jets. I don't think the other team is even quality worthy. I think New York with Revis back at the helm. I think they just primed to crush them.
Arizona and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's at home.
I'm gonna go with Arizona. I think they're going to just have enough on that defensive end. For some reason, I like their defense. I know I should swing the other way, Mr. Cable, but I'm gonna have to go with Arizona on this one.
Miami and Tennessee. Tennessee's at home.
Boy, you give me some hard ones. My God, I'm gonna have to go with the young buck. See what he can get done.
Well, Young Bucks 1-3 right now. No, 1-4.
Yeah, I think he's primed to, he's always, even though he's a little under right now, I think he's gonna, get it together, and I think he's primed for a good passing day.
All right, as you heard it, Isaac's gonna ride with the Mariota train. Let's see where that gets him.
Yeah.
Carolina and Seattle. Seattle's at home. Carolina is undefeated.
I'm going with Seattle. Seattle has no choice but to rise up. Cam better bring the Caminator. I'm having to ride with Seattle only because even though they might be undefeated, Mr. Cable, I think Seattle has no choice but to bring it, and I think they're going to bring it.
San Diego and Green Bay. Green Bay's at home again somehow.
I'm going with Green Bay. I mean, anytime you got Aaron Rodgers on the field, you got to give them a nod, especially against the team that they're going up against.
Here's another tough one. Baltimore and San Francisco. San Francisco has both receivers that played in the Super Bowl on the Baltimore team. San Francisco's at home.
I'm going to go with the 49ers. I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to. For some reason, I don't think they're going to be able to handle the 49ers. I think the 49ers are going to, I think Tampa Nickel, he's getting a lot of pressure, especially, last week. I think he's going to rise up, and I think Ravens, they're one of the teams that's just not going to make it back to the big dance. I think I'm gonna go with the 49ers. It's a tough call, but 49ers.
New England and Indianapolis. Indy is at home on Sunday night.
Are we really talking about this?
All right, New England.
You know what it is.
New England.
The bat.
That's it.
But hey, you look, listen. Hey, Julius Luck is my man, but they just not getting it done this season. Hopefully, they can turn the table. But that will be wishful thinking. I think the Pats are going to ring their bell.
Said this time it won't be deflated. I said New York Giants. Yeah, New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are at home.
I'm going to have, even though I think New York is going to eventually get the division, I'm going to go with the Eagles on this one, only because of history. I think the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken, has got the last 11 on New York, which, is kind of surprising, but I think for some reason, especially being the Eagles, and I think if it was in New York, I'd probably go with New York, but being it's in Philadelphia, I think the Eagles are just going to rise up. I think that 55th man, which are the fans, are going to pull it out for them in Philadelphia.
Well, you heard it there, everybody.
I think it's going to be a real close game. I don't see the Eagles going ham on them or anything. I think it's going to be a real close game. And I think the Eagles just going to pull it out just because of history.
So, well, you heard it there. I say Isaac Brown's going with the Fly, Eagles, Fly. Hit it for me, Isaac. Tell him right there. How's the song go, Isaac?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Did you say fry or fly?
Road of victory. Eagles.
Well, thank you for coming on the show today, Isaac. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me. Hopefully you have me again. I appreciate the insight, and hopefully you hear from you soon. Thanks.
Yep.
Take care.
Yep. There you have it, everybody. I ain't got much more else to say. As usual, ended that was always ended. You to master everything you do. What you do with it is up to you. Y'all be safe. See you tonight.